and Tracy Black and Beau. We're back. Episode 2. First and Sold podcast. Tracy, I tell you what, since we dropped our first episode, had tons of people listen, loved every minute of it. Thanks again for us starting this.
Oh yeah, I've had people from Florida reach out. So I mean, there's people listening everywhere to the podcast, and hey, it's just the beginning.
For those of you that are listening for the first time, this is Beau alongside Tracy Black. We are starting a podcast called First and Sold. We go over all high school sports in our local areas up here in North Alabama. We go over the real estate market, and we go over community involvement. And for those who listen to episode 1, we talked a lot about what we do for a living as realtors at MarMac Real Estate and our founder and CEO, Mark Moody. And guess what, folks? We have a surprise for you today. Our guest speaker on the show today would be the one and only Mark Moody. Mark, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for inviting me to be here. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we're excited to have you. I can speak on Tracy's behalf and everybody's behalf at MarMac Real Estate. How much you mean to us, how much you mean to the community, and just how awesome MarMac is. So, tell the listeners, how did MarMac become about?
Well, it all starts back when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
When I was 10 years old, my mom and dad called a realtor out to their house to list it, put it on the market. Well, he came out and he was dressed very well. He was driving a new car, and as he, talked to them, when he got ready to measure the house, he gave me the dumb end of the tape.
Okay.
And we measured the house. Well, once the process started, I started seeing what real estate was all about. And even as a child, my parents moved several times. I knew what they paid for them, even before this guy come along. Anyway, after that, I decided that's what I was going to do, be a real estate agent. Didn't know what the word realtor meant at the time. Anyway, as soon as I got grown, at 19 years old, I went to real estate school. And right after that, got my license, and that was 46 years ago. From then on, I've been number one agent in my markets. I have got to the point that I wanted to give back to my community and to other realtors to train them what I knew about real estate. That was, over 18 years ago when we opened up MarMac Real Estate. MarMac Real Estate has been a staple in our local market for giving back. We also own MarMac Charities. We raise money to give, to different charities in the area. So, we're always looking for ways to give back to our community. I mean, just this yesterday, I went to a groundbreaking ceremony for Alabama Babies in the Box. What that is
that those safe boxes that they put?
Alabama safe box.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. The Decatur Morgan Hospital got theirs installed, and we dedicated it yesterday, and that's the 16th one in the state.
Okay.
But we signed up to be the number 2 in the state, and it took that long to get it done, and we were number 16. So, but giving back to the community, that's really, that's what I want the company to be known for.
Yeah, I mean, Tracy, we were both a part of this past weekend. MarMac Real Estate was part of the MarMac River City Run that we actually put on this past weekend, which was a 5K, a 10K, and a fun run. And we were able to give back to the CCC.
That's right. All the markets that we're in. I mean, we're located in Decatur, Parcel, and Coleman, Alabama. We're also located in Killen, Alabama. We're in Florence in the Shoals area. We're in Orange Beach, Dolphin Island, and we're working in Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama, and Florida. If you're listening, there's a MarMac agent close to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll go along with what, giving back. And of course, that's one of the main ingredients of First and Sold is a way for us to give back to the community that, that's where we call home. But going back, when MarMac first purchased us back in 2019, and then today is April the 1st, April Fool's Day.
April Fool's.
But April the 1st, 2020, right in the middle of probably one of the most craziest times in in American history with COVID and everything else, 5 years today, I accepted the broker and the director position over in the Shoals area. These past 5 years have been tremendous, and it's a testament to what you've built and the wisdom and the care that you pour into your agents. I've never seen anything like it, and there's no other company around that does what Mark and Kevin do for their agents. There's no doubt about that. But one thing I would like to ask is, being in the business as long as you have, seeing how it's evolved over the years, technology's come along and it's really changed the aspect of how people relate themselves to customers and do business. What do you foresee in the next 3 to 5 years? What do you think the future market looks like for the real estate industry?
Real estate is going to be real estate always. It's always real estate 101. As far as agents, how we embrace it, how we work in these markets, how we do it, all the years I've been in it has evolved all the time. There are things we're doing today that we never dreamed of. What's going to be in the next 3 to 5 years? First of all, we have no clue. We as agents within this company need to always be on the cutting edge of doing what's the next thing that's going on. How we show houses, how we market ourselves, how we work with buyers and sellers, it's always changing.
Yes.
It always has been changing. You have the naysayers out there that, it's going to get bad, it's going to be awful, all these negative things that they can throw out. Well, I've been making a living 46 years in real estate, and my bills come around every month, whether the sky is falling or the sky is not falling. So in my world, I don't pay attention to Chicken Little. The world is positive. I am thankful to be alive and thankful that I live in the modern day that I do, because it is easier on a real estate agent today, but it's also harder, because the older we get, that technology is harder to learn. But that's what's changing our world.
Yeah. Well, you told me many years ago, Mark, and it has always stuck with me. Today, somebody's having a baby. Today, somebody got married. Today, somebody passed away. Today, somebody got transferred for work. Today, somebody got hired at a new job. Today, somebody got fired from a job. You can go on and on and on. But guess what every one of those things say? I need to buy or sell in real estate. And so that stuck with me. So it doesn't matter what the market's doing. It doesn't matter whether it's positive or negative at the moment. Houses still got to sell and houses still got to be purchased on a daily basis. And that's the positive side of you that you pour into our company and you pour into the whole state of Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, and Florida. And we sure appreciate it. And, I think when I started at MarMac Real Estate, there was maybe 40 agents here. And I think we have over 182, is that right?
Around that.
182 agents. Tracy and I have said this many a times, from the Pines to the Palms, all the way from the Gulf Coast up to here to North Alabama. So kudos to you. If there was one thing I'll say, Tracy, when I was a kid growing up in North Alabama, and I was riding around standing up in the back seat, because you could back then, guess whose face I saw all over town? Mr. Mark Moody. And so I knew when I became a realtor who I wanted to be and who I wanted to work was Mr. Mark Moody, because as me growing up as a kid and into high school and as a young adult, and then all of a sudden becoming a professional and starting families of my own, the day I decided I wanted to do real estate full time, who also helped me make that decision was Mr. Mark Moody. There was no question. So on behalf of my family and my life and my children, I'd like to say thank you for your encouragement and for your inspiration and for what you've done for my career. It's been great.
Yeah, and I'd say the same thing. I mean, it's been incredible from a mentorship perspective for sure. And just to be able to have that resource, because Mark's on every sales call. He's involved every week with what the agents are going on. If something's going on, agents can call him just like they can call us.
That's right.
And he's very intertwined with the business on a daily basis. And like he said a minute ago, no matter what happens, real estate will be real estate.
That's right.
And we're sitting here talking. Of course, this is the First and Soul podcast, and you've been around First and Soul for the last few years. You've been over to some of the events. You've been to media days. You've been to our Player of the Year event. We had the Player of the Year in the Shoals area this year. We also had it over in the Decatur market. Huge turnout for that event. Just like to get your feedback on what you think in the future of what First and Soul can mean to the community, not only here locally but throughout the United States.
First and Sold. I mean, when you approached me 5 years ago, with the idea of what you was doing, I didn't know enough about it to know how to embrace it. As time's gone on and you've had your events, I see the need of it, and the need is many athletes in the area don't always get the recognition that they need, and this is another avenue that First and Soul puts on for those local high schools athletes that gives them recognition. Some athletes don't need recognition because they're going to thrive regardless. But there are others who strive to be the best. Being recognized can really boost them into a higher level of their sport. First and Soul, I think, is filling a need to young athletes in the communities. And was so thrilled that we was able to have it in the Shoals area, and now we've moved it to the Decatur area, and we're fixing to go way beyond that. That I'm excited about it.
Yeah, that's what we love about it is you bring it back just like your career and the First and Soul platform, bringing communities together, because really that's what it's all about. It's really all about bringing everybody together and bringing the community together, whether you can help donate towards a school to prepare our next generation, give them the recognition that they want, whatever it may be, and recognizing the achievements of the teachers, representing the achievements of the administration, whatever it may be. How much or how important is community involvement to Mark Moody in his life?
It's very important to me. I have over my career, I have served on so many charity boards, so many organizations. I'm on probably 12 different boards that I'm on. But all of those, they go from the arts to just local community involvement with the homeless to everything. But I feel I'm a blessed man. I am blessed with God's allowed me to have my 2 children, 4 grandchildren especially. but I feel that when you receive blessings like that, you should be giving back.
Absolutely.
And it makes my heart feel so good to be able to do that.
Yeah. And that's exactly what First and Soul's about, giving back. We receive, and then in that moment, we give back to the local schools. So, right. I mean, right there, sitting beside us, our own owner, the founder of MarMac Real Estate, has based his company, based his career on the same things and the same foundation that First and Soul has.
Again, just gratitude and very thankful to have the opportunity to work with MarMac Real Estate and, Mark's leadership and what he means to the company and what he's done for me personally. It's something that can never be repaid, and I'm very grateful and very thankful for this opportunity. And I've loved to see the growth, and and especially this year, 2025. We just ended Q1 yesterday, and
I knew you were going to bring that
where
up.
I'm going with that.
I knew you were going.
Get it while you can.
That's right. But yeah, the Shoals market, just for everybody listening. So we have a little competition between the Shoals market, the Decatur market, and the coastal market. And for the first time since we've been having this competition, the Shoals market actually beat the Decatur market in the quarter.
That's right. But you know what? Just like in a football game, there's 4 quarters.
There you go.
And it's the winner at the end of the game who wins. And I can tell all the listeners out there, Decatur market is coming.
If I can get it to halftime, we're going. Well, no.
It's such a fun thing. Mark, thanks again for stopping by out of your busy schedule. Thank you for everything that you do for First and Soul, what you do for Decatur, what you do for all of MarMac Real Estate across the board in the Southeast. It really does mean a lot to Tracy, myself, Gary, everybody in the leadership positions, and I would say all the way down to every single employee, every single real estate agent. You have a soft spot in all of our hearts. It really means a lot. Thank you so much for joining us today on our First and Sold podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir.
Enjoyed it.
Well, Tracy, there was a lot going on this past week in the local areas for sports. One thing that I wanted to, we were just talking about with Mark, all the little things that go on locally that mean a lot. One thing I want to give a shout out to, here in Decatur this past week, the sectionals meet for the Special Olympics held at the Aqua Dome. Sectional Special Olympics swim meet was started Friday. One thing I loved, I read this in the paper, let me win. If I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt. That's basically their motto. And when I read that, I thought, man, how awesome is that? Let me win. And if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt. We can take that in every sport that you and I follow, everything that we do in our careers, everything we do in our family life. The cool thing is, here in our local area, we have participants from Morgan County, Coffee, Dale, Colbert County, Lauderdale County, Baldwin, and Madison counties. All were represented this past week at the Aqua Dome for the sectionals of the Special Olympics swim meet. I just want to thank Decatur, thank everybody who's involved in that. I thought that was really cool.
Oh, no doubt. The volunteers that do that, man, that is incredible. Worth their weight in gold. And to, the impact that it has on those people's lives. I mean, they'll never forget that.
Oh, Lord.
It'll last a lifetime with them.
When I read the article, there was one guy who stole the show, shall I say, and halfway through his meet, he jumped out of the pool and went and gave somebody a hug and jumped back in the pool to finish. And things like that just, it made me smile as I was reading the article. So I'm in awe of things like that. And that's what's cool about our community. Just love being a part of.
Oh, absolutely. And anything like that, it holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts. And again, hats off to the volunteers that do that and put those events on. It has a lasting impact more than they'll ever understand.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, you want to move on to baseball, see what's going on in the baseball softball world in our local area. Our local area came up with what they call a power ranking, the top 5 baseball and softball teams. We have a ton of our schools represented in these, Tracy. And in the softball, number 5 comes in the Ardmore Tigers, and they're also ranked number 8 in the state in Class 5A. They are sitting at 15-6-1, and right now they have won 8 of their last 10 games. Kudos to the Ardmore Tigers. Number 4 is the Austin Black Bears. They're number 8 also in the state in their classification of 7A. Right now, kudos to Arden Breedlove. She has homered 3 times in the last 2 games. Number 3 comes the Lawrence County Red Devils. They're number 3 in the state in their Class 5A. Their record is at 20-9. They have returned a ton from last year, and it is paying off big for them. Number 2, the Athens Golden Eagles. They're also number 2 in the state in Class 6A. Despite losing their head coach last year, their new head coaches came in, and they are rolling. Number 1 is the West Limestone, and they're also number 3 in the state in Class 4A. Number 1 is West Limestone. Their state rank is number 3 in Class 4A. They are 23-2, Tracy.
It's incredible.
And they are on, check this out, a 17-game winning streak. Whew. Come on, talk about Orange Beach, better watch out. Mm-hmm. And then if you move on to baseball, number 5 is Lawrence County Red Devils. They are 14-7 overall. They've returned 11 seniors. Number 4 is Athens Golden Eagles. They are 14-5, and they are rolling with their new head coach, Mike Murphy. Number 3 is Athens Bible. They are number 7 in Class 1A in the entire state. And then number 2, of course, is the Hartselle Tigers. and they're number 1 in the state in Class 6A. And they also are rolling, even though they have a new head coach. Coach Brad Phillips is the new head coach there at Hartselle High. And then number 1 right now is Decatur Heritage. Their state rankings, number 3 in all of Class 2A. After a 2-year retirement, head coach Steve Meek came back to the Decatur Heritage Eagles, and they are blowing through everybody at the moment. Right now, they actually have a senior pitcher. I don't know if you've heard his name, Brady Wilson. He's an Auburn commit. He is due to break out even more since the basketball season's over. He was also a big basketball guy for Decatur Heritage. So I just want to go over all those real quick in the baseball and softball in our area. Anything you'd like to add?
Well, the kid you just talked about that's committed to Auburn, that goes along with Christian Chatterton, who graduated at Brooks last year. And he actually has already been a starter for one of the baseball games at Auburn this year. So a lot of great baseball talent all across Northwest Alabama. And we actually got our MVP shirts today.
Yeah.
We picked up the awards last week. So later this week, we'll start our rollout over in the Northwest sector of softball MVPs and baseball MVPs. And we've been doing a lot of stat research, reaching out to the head coaches. And it's incredible. It's absolutely, there's not enough awards to go around for the talent over there. It's incredible. Some of the seasons some of these players are having. And so we're really excited. And, switching gears right quick, just flipping back to football for just a second. This morning got a phone call or got a text message, from a parent, our Class 3A player of the year in the Northwest sector, who was Hudson Lash from Lauderdale County. His mom texted me and said, "Hey, Hudson's going to be doing his signing Friday for college. So we'd love for First and Soul to be there. So we'll be there at 10 o'clock, or I think it's 11 o'clock Friday morning at the Lauderdale County Gym. So we're excited about that."
Did he give you an idea where he's signing?
I think it's Huntington. I'll have to go back and double check that, but it's he signed a football scholarship, which is huge. So
That is
best of luck to him.
That is awesome. I'm really excited about the whole MVP, softball and baseball. Kudos to Brett Pittman and Courtney Hunter.
Yep.
They are helping get that rolling as our first to do that. Can't wait to get feedback and watch that just grow.
It's going to be incredible.
All sports involved, and I think you mentioned this last week on episode 1, just about any sport. I mean, if you think about it, any sport.
Yeah, well, when you talk about
added.
the First and Soul University, like when we get this platform rolled out, that's actually one of the sections inside the course that it says, pick your sport. So, whatever you're passionate about. And I was telling you earlier, I had a Zoom call with an agent out of Florida yesterday, and we were going over some of the process and procedures, because this is not a sales course. This is not a coaching course to help you increase your sales. This is a platform to brand yourself and plant seeds in your community. And when you do it, and you do it the right way, it's going to reap huge benefits down the line. I mean, you're already going to reap some benefits with the faculty, the coaches, and building these relationships to where, just like you was talking about earlier, head coaches text you and ask you questions and having, casual conversations about everything. When you gain the trust of the local coaches and the local communities, that's what's going to set you apart. And that's what the key fundamental foundation of First and Soul is going to do for you and do for your career.
Yes. Hey, by the way, kudos to the Auburn Tigers.
Dude,
Final Four.
Final Four.
Second time in school history, and Coach Bruce Pearl, kudos to him, because the first time he brought us there in 2019, and now they're back in 2025. Kudos to Auburn Tigers, man. They look good. I don't know. Did you have a chance to watch that game?
Yeah, I watched all of the Final Four. What Auburn has for them, they're so big inside, and that guy is so dominant.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, the way Duke did Alabama, that Flagg kid.
Cooper Flagg.
He's incredible. And then same way with Houston. So all 4 number 1 seeds make it to the Final Four. Florida was kind of dominant there toward the end of the season. They haven't been quite as dominant in the tournament, but hey, they're still really good too.
Yep. Second time in history that 4 number 1s made it to the Final Four. And this is the first time since 2005.
It's incredible. And 2 SEC schools.
And 2 SEC schools. Yep. That's just really cool. And you know what? It's going to be really cool, Tracy, is when you were sitting here talking about a kid that was part of our First and Soul program, at whatever high school playing for the Final Four one day. Like Chaney Johnson at Auburn played at UAH for a while before he went to Auburn. So Final Four is always fun.
No, ain't no doubt. No doubt. It's exciting time.
Hey, one thing I'm going to go over real quick. Sports Illustrated just came out with the top 25 Alabama high school teams in baseball and softball. I'm going to go over all the schools that you and I represent in our areas. Baseball first. Number 5 in baseball, this is the Sports Illustrated's top 25. Number 5 goes to Bob Jones. Number 6, Hartselle High School. 15, Madison Academy. And 19, Dessler. Congratulations. So 4 out of the top 25 high school teams in the state of Alabama represent our area.
Yeah, and I closed a transaction with one of Dessler's coaches a few weeks ago, and they were talking about last year's baseball team really struggled, had a tough season. You know, Dessler's used to winning at everything they do over there, and to see that right there, what Dessler's done so far this year, it's incredible. It's a good turnaround.
Yes, sir. And then go ahead.
Follow up on Hudson Lash. He did end up committing to Huntington, the Huntington Hawks, and that's who he'll be signing with on Friday.
Okay, cool. Congratulations, Hudson. And First and Soul looks forward to being there and being a part of that special day. That'll be a day Hudson will never forget.
That's right.
That's kind of what we like to do with our events, whether it's those media days or Player of the Year. We want that to be a day that they'll never forget.
That's right.
I know that it just doesn't seem like 30 years ago that I was in high school. And, I still talk about things that we did in high school, and that's just something that these athletes that we get to talk to, they'll talk about when they're my age, sitting around with their friend, talking about sports. And you say, hey, man, one time I was Player of the Year.
That's right.
And I love what we're doing and what we're doing for these kids. All right, softball, the Sports Illustrated. Schools in the top 25. Number 6, West Limestone.
That 22-2, that's incredible, isn't it?
22-2. And then you have Spartan, number 16. They're 21-6. And then number 20, Athens, 15-7 is their record.
It's all good records.
And then what got me pumped up is number 24, right in the top 25, Lawrence County Red Devils, 19-7. Kudos to all those teams that was recognized, not by our local newspapers, but Sports Illustrated.
That's right.
That is pretty cool. We got a lot of good athletes and a lot of good programs, a lot of good coaches from all around that represent our athletes, our schools, and everything else.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot of fun. And again, like you said earlier, being able to go out and recognize some of these baseball and softball players. And, we've done football for many, many years, and it's really exciting to see agents get involved and wanting to do other sports. And, hey, sky's the limit on what this platform can do and the outreach and the impact that we can have in our communities.
Kudos to all the softball, baseball, top 25 through Sports Illustrated, representing the entire state. Just kudos to all of them. Tracy, what is your favorite sport in the spring?
I would say baseball.
Baseball?
I'm excited. We had, Major League season kicked off last week. I'm a big Dodgers fan, grew up a Dodgers fan. We never could beat the Yankees back then. And finally, last year we beat the Yankees, and it was an incredible season. So, just excited to see that underway. But, the passion, just like you said last week, high school sports is really the only solid sporting event that's still left, because they've already, they've torn college athletics apart with the money and the LOIs and the transfer portal and everything that's going on there. And so, don't get me wrong, high school, there's some recruiting going on there. There's people that get mad and move out of district and all that good stuff. That still takes place, but it's at a very minimum amount of what goes on in college. And of course, the pros, that's all it is about is money. But it's so exciting to see the passion and the pride that these kids put into their sports, whatever sport that is. But in the spring, baseball season starts out, it's freezing cold. The games are miserable. You're sitting out there, it's 30 degrees. Everybody's snuggled up, covered up in blankets. And then when playoff time comes, we're in the 80s and it's an amazing weather. And, just what these kids go through and the hard work and, softball, baseball, track, all of the time and effort that these kids put in their sports. That's what, if you narrow it down to one, yes, I'd probably say baseball, but I love them all.
Yeah. One thing, they call them the spring sports, but what's crazy is that every spring sport, when they start, it is cold. And you made that point. People sitting out there in those, you seen those new things, those pods that people sit in to get out of the wind, and they got little buddy heaters or whatever they're called, sitting there enjoying watching their child play soccer or track, whatever that they're doing. Yeah, spring sports are a lot of fun. One reason I think a lot of people love spring sports, they know school's almost out.
No doubt. Hey, and I tell you another thing that, you look at the impact that the transfer portal and stuff's had on college athletics. Alabama's A-Day game, Auburn's A-Day game, all these used to be really fun spring events, and they're not doing them anymore because all it does is showcase people to come in and try to get players from them.
Yeah.
And that's sad that, free events to the public normally and all across the country. I mean, Nebraska, Oklahoma, all these schools had these A-Day games and had these spring games, and thousands of people would come and attend them. And that's all gone now.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, Tracy, is social media, or shoot, I will just say our phones. All the information that we can get now on our phones. Used to, I couldn't wait to get to watch Sports Center at night so I could find out who hit that home run or who won what or who signed with what school. Well, nowadays we get it instantly. So I think a lot of that's taken away the excitement of going to an A-Day or getting to know the players. Well, now that's frustrating to me as well, as you get to know this team, and then next year, shoot, my favorite running back's playing for another college or playing for somebody else because of all the NIL and all the transfer portals and everything. I read something the other day that, did you know, like at Auburn, the basketball team, our average age is like 22 years old.
Oh, wow, I know
on the basketball team. Now that's crazy.
For high school or for college basketball, that is crazy because when you come in and you're a freshman sensation, you're usually gone the next season.
Yeah. Well, those Coach Cal mentioned that his one and dones, those are gone nowadays because people are deciding to stay because they can make more money. Than is a rookie contract with the NBA.
That's right.
Why not stay longer? Be the man on campus. All that good stuff. I'm looking forward to summertime coming up. It's normally a great time for you and I, what we do for a living. Summer's always picks up big time.
Yeah, no doubt.
Anything you'd like to talk about?
Well, let's talk about, we just ended, and we alluded to this earlier, just having fun with it, but talking about Q1 coming to an end yesterday or last night at midnight. And I want to talk a little bit about the Shoals area market, just a quick update for stats, through March 31st. The Shoals area market closed out incredible $33,622,919 in closed volume for Q1. That's 131 transactions with an average sales price of $256,663 just for the Shoals area. And, that's just in great numbers. Average days on the market of the Shoals area right now around 58 days. And again, that all goes back to price point. Like you throw a house on the market 250 and above, you're probably, your buyers are a lot smaller in that price range than they are. If you're under 250, I would say 150 to 250. Man, you're still looking at multiple offers. You're looking at multiple showings. You better get ready to move because offers are coming quick in that price range. And that price range will adjust as interest rates adjust. And so right now, it's still, because of the lack of inventory, in many cases, it's still a seller's market. But that depends on price point as well.
Absolutely. Man, kudos. I know that you as the lead there in the Shoals market, 131 transactions.
It's incredible.
That is incredible.
A few years ago, that would have been great to have for the year.
Yeah, And I know that MarMac as a whole, we're knocking on 100 million's door right now for the as far as sales volume, as far as company. So everybody's doing really well. And I know we're sitting at 28 million. I'm about 5 million behind you. But I think about 2 weeks ago, you were 6 million in front of me. So we're coming.
Well, and again, these numbers are great. The production's great and everything. But at the end of the day, just like Mark said earlier, the community and the customers that live in those communities, that's what matters most. And I think it really shows in what we're able to do and the impact that we have in our community is because of the great customers that trust us and trust our agents to, in most cases, handle one of the largest single financial transactions that they'll ever make in their lifetime.
Yep. And guess what? If they use one of the First and Sold people, they'll get to make a donation on their behalf.
That's right.
To their school of their choice.
Yep. Anybody looking to make a difference in their community, we offer a pathway for you to do that. And, I think if you can enrich the lives of the youth and make a positive impact, because with all the craziness going on in society and some of the stuff you have to endure, us coming in and trying to provide a little bit of positivity to these young men and women and show them that, hey, there is a better way and it's okay to do the right thing.
Hey, I was going to text you the other day and tell you what we got coming up, but I'm going to surprise you on the show as we're recording. You ready?
Oh, boy. Let's go.
I have talked to Carl Prather. I've talked to Olivia Whitmore. I've talked to Max Cohen. I've talked to Nick. I've talked to all the big media, and they all want to come on the show and talk about sports in our area and help us push First and Sold.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I am super pumped, and I couldn't wait to tell you. They're all checking their schedules and will let us know when we can have them here and as guests on the show. And I'm super excited for that. So those of you listening, those are our sports. I guess you would call the face or the voice of sports, depending on what channel you watch on your news, whether it's channel 19, 31, 48, or 54, which would be NBC, CBS, Fox, ABC. So
and Carl Prather, man, he has been one of our biggest supporters since day one. He actually, back in 2020, the event occurred in 2020. He handed out our very first Player of the Year trophy to Tiandre Goodlow from Deschler. And, he was there last year to give that award out. And, I want to say this because there's some stuff that happened last week that wasn't great. There was some negative media that came out, about, one of our former Player of the Years. But hey, our prayers and thoughts are with the family. There was a tragic loss of life there for a young student. And, not going into details on all of that, our prayers and thoughts are with the family of that young man and with everybody involved in this, because it is a horrific situation. But going back to our Player of the Year for 2023, that's a totally different, he wouldn't had anything going on at that time. And, and everybody, you're always guilty in the public opinion when stuff comes out, but we just have to see how this plays out. But, again, horrible, horrific situation. Our thoughts and prayers goes out with the young man, his family. And, we just hope that there's mending in both communities that were impacted by this tragic event. But, again, First and Sold, we're honoring the accomplishments on the field of what these young men do, and that's what we're going to continue to do. And we're going to try to bring positivity to each life that we have the opportunity to impact.
Yeah, well said, Tracy. And we're thinking about everybody involved. You'll definitely be in our prayers. And we got to remember, they're kids. I mean, they're teenage kids that are still in high school. You have our support from us, and we'll definitely be thinking about y'all and hope everything comes out like it should. So I'm really excited about being able to have people in the media world who are jumping on with us and to really help push all these athletes. And, man, I'll tell you, I get to do football on Friday nights. Coach Parker and his staff at Priceville High School, been amazing. Coach Childress, the basketball coach at Priceville. Coach Perkins at Austin High School. I mean, I can just go on and on. Coach Watson at Sparkman. Coach Gross at Athens. Coach Snyder at Ardmore. I mean, all these coaches and all these staffs and all these parents and everybody involved has just been amazing. Our local Pepsi, our bunch of different sponsors that we've had throughout the past, Slim Chickens, tons of people who have helped push us to make these days and these athletes feel special.
Yeah, no doubt. And go back to talk about that relationship. So Josh Aycock, who is my partner with Football on the South Scoreboard Show, Singing River Media, you just think about it right now. So there's 3 or 4 years ago, to be able to call up or shoot a text message to some of these head coaches, they'd be like, First and Sold, what is First and Sold? Who is that?
Yeah.
But, man, I could text Heath Wood right now at Central, Coach Mason at Lauderdale County, Coach Bowens at Brooks, Coach Malone at Deschler, and then probably one of our biggest supporter, Coach Baisden at Muscle Shoals, who's been over there for 20 years. I mean, probably one of the winningest coaches in North Alabama, and maybe all the state, has took Muscle Shoals down to the state championship game. I mean, it is incredible what First and Sold and the impact it has had, but not only that, just the trust that it's built. I mean, Coach Morrison at Florence, he'll call all the time, hey, man, I got a good sponsorship opportunity for First and Sold. I mean, and it's not just about the money and the sponsorships. It's about the impact that First and Sold has had. Now, Florence High School, for example, it's the only 7A school on that side of the state in the Northwest sector. And, when you've got a school of that size, and then you can go down here to Cherokee, who's a small 1A school, we've made an impact in all these communities.
Yeah.
And we want to continue to do that all across the state of Alabama and then through all across the country.
So I got a great example for that. First and Sold has done. Coach Ritter, who moved from Russellville to Decatur High School. I contact Coach Ritter and want to talk to him about First and Sold. You know what he said? Oh, I know all about it. I know how it all works. Tracy and them have been amazing. We love First and Sold. Doors are open. Yep.
That's what that's what matters most is you've built a brand and you've built trust and you've built relationship with these coaches. Coach Gotsey from Mass Academy. I mean,
yeah. Legend.
He was a legend at Brooks. He was a legend at Hartselle with the state championship. What he's done at Mass Academy. And he sent you that message after the Player of the Year event.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah. He took the time after the Player of the Year event to stand there. Everybody was leaving. He took the time, come up to me, shook my hand, told me how awesome a night it was. Thanks for everything. And he's not it. I mean, there's tons of them out there. Yeah. And for people to just open their doors, man, they're busy. You mentioned it last week. The sacrifices that they do on a daily basis, they are busy. And for them to open the door and give us a few minutes, it's just awesome.
100%. And I'll go Coach Phillips over at West Morgan. I mean, one of the winningest coaches last 2 years.
Yes.
And
boy,
just
he's got
incredible.
The West Morgan Rebels rolling.
And I promise you, I could text or call him and ask him for a stat or anything about a player, and it won't be over 10 minutes and he'll respond.
Yeah.
And I think that goes a long way with what the respect that we've built and earned with these coaches and what First and Sold means, because we're not out there trying to do anything, as far as negative or anything for the programs. We will always be positive about a program. We will always be positive about the student athletes. And what we want to do is try to make a difference in their lives and try to make a difference in the community where those schools are located. And that, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about.
That's exactly right. And no matter what school you go to, no matter where you sit on Friday nights and who you pull for, we are there to help support them in every which way we can.
That's right. 100%.
And we want to say thank you. Thank you to all the communities. Thank you to all the high schools. Thank you to all the coaches who open their doors, open their offices, open up anything that we can do to help be a part of it. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to Tracy. It means a lot to First and Sold. And most of all, it means a lot to the community, and it means a lot to that student athlete.
That's right. And, this just being the second episode, everyone's joining us on a journey. I mean, and this is going to get bigger and bigger week after week after week. And we're going to keep you posted. We're going to keep you posted on, who becomes a First and Sold agent. Where are they at in the country? And where are we rolling this platform out? But, at the end of the day, making an impact, making a difference in our community, and being positive, being something that these kids will remember for the rest of their life, like you alluded to earlier. They're going to remember stuff that makes a difference in their lives. And that's what we want to do, is make a difference, make an impact. And you go back to Mark Moody, running a company this size, and he takes a few minutes out of his busy schedule to come and sit in and talk with us about his company and about what he thinks about First and Sold. And so, just, hey, stay tuned. We appreciate everybody that's done business with us, and we look forward to doing business with many, many more customers down the road. But, what we really look forward to is the interaction with the schools, the faculty, the teachers, the student athletes, and really making a difference in their lives.
And one thing I want to add too is that if you're a coach out there, no matter what sport it is, and you want to be part of our show, please reach out to Tracy Black or Beau Goss. And that's Tracy at marmac.us or Beau at marmac.us. I spell Beau, B-E-A-U, at MarMac, MarMac.us. Tracy spells Tracy, Tracy, at MarMac, MarMac.us. Or any listeners out there, if you have any questions or if you have any comments to give us some feedback, let us know what you would like for us to talk about, or maybe you know somebody you'd like to highlight. We would love to make this show not just our show, but everybody's show. We want to make that everybody in North Alabama be proud of who we are, what we're doing, and it become a show that everybody can talk through, comment through, and it just become one awesome weekly episode that we get to talk about. Also, you and I talked about this last week. We can be, if need be, remote.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm excited about, because a lot of these coaches, if we offer up, hey, we'll come to your field house, we'll come to your office, let's sit down, talk a little bit. We'd like for you to, tell us about your program, sell your program, spotlight what's going on in your communities. And to me, that's what's going to be really fun as we progress with this podcast.
Exactly right. No matter where you're sitting in North Alabama, I would say anywhere north of Coleman, Coleman up north.
Yep.
Anybody up north, from Coleman up north, all the way over to the western side of the state, eastern side of the state, up to the Tennessee line to Ardmore, give us a call. We would love to chit-chat. We'd love to have you on the show. And just like Tracy said, here's an opportunity to sell your program, sell your community, and we are here to help push the community to help you, which in turn help the athlete, which in turn brings the communities together. And that's our goal. That's exactly what we want to do. And by the way, if you're a business out there, small business, big business, whatever it may be, and you'd like to help sponsor this show, grow the show, or help grow the First and Sold brand, reach out. Beau Goss, 256-274-3461, or call Tracy Black at
256-349-3638. Hey, want to also just throw a couple of things out there. Friday night, April 18th, Brooks High School Athletics, or Brooks High School Athletic Boosters Club, is going to be having a night with Eli Go. Eli Go is going to be a special guest there. There's some packages available for sponsorship. Tickets are still available. Reach out to Brooks High School for more information on that. And then also Saturday, April the 12th, it'll start at 8 a.m. This is going to be, I believe it's the 21st annual Swampers 5K 1 mile run and walk over in Muscle Shoals. Josh Aycock, he has been organized this event for many, many years. So if anybody's looking for another 5K like we had last week, we got one coming up next Saturday. Swampers 21st annual.
Does that mean you're going to be running in the mud?
No. It's, Muscle Shoals got the Swampers. Come on now.
I know. I'm just being funny. Hey, that 5K was fun.
It was. I enjoyed it.
Man, we had, 522 registered to run in the MarMac River City Run, which will become an annual event.
Yep.
Make sure that you look out for that. I'm going to tell you, Tracy, I'm gonna run a 5K within the next couple months. I'm going to try to get it in the 30s.
There you go.
Somehow.
That's right.
I'm going to push myself.
That was my goal, get under 40, and I made it 39. Now I'm going to push on the Swampers. I'm going to push for under 30. I don't know if I can do it, but I'm going to try. Ooh. But, hey, if you can do that, then we're going to call up Danielle Knight and say, hey, I did it. Give me my shoes and get my $1,000.
Oh, me. Hey, anybody would like to jump on and talk about joining with us? We'll make a big post and pictures and everything else, and Run with us. Run for a cause.
That's right.
Run for your school. We'll come up with something. Everybody wear your favorite high school shirt.
Yep.
That's something we could think about.
Yep. First and Soul 5K. Everybody around. Wear your school colors.
Well, all listeners, we sure appreciate you tuning in. We'll be right back again next Wednesday as well. Thanks for tuning in. It's always a great time hanging out with you, Tracy. Thank you for doing this.
Appreciate it.
And I look forward to talking to everybody next week. Y'all have an awesome week.